Ready? Gates back and away they go. They're racing for the Jurassic Earth presented by Bigfoot's event classified stakes over the 10 furlongs and through the early stages. Exceed and Eclipse is one that got away well. So too did Carmelo Soprano, the yellow and light blue colours. Also there is Ellen Clacy in the sheepskin noseband. They're going a decent clip here in the early stages. Then Jeanette May, who's taking a bit of a hold for Holly Doyle. There then followed by Icky 2. Star of St. Louis, the favourite, camped out rather wide round that first bend. Then Bonnie Ladd, the red sleeves on the inside, followed then by the purple of Agent of Fortune. Then towards the rear of the field we have Dolly Drake, and just about the back marker is Cool Universe. So they've sorted themselves out here going inside the 7 furlongs. Got a bit of a tearaway here. It's Carmela Soprano who leads now by about 5 or 6 lengths to in second position Ellen Clacy, maybe a bit more now, to then Exceed and Eclipse, who races in third spot, followed then by Jeanette May as they go down the far side. Then Star of St. Louis, the white colours of the red cap, followed then by Bonnie Ladd, the red cap, the rail. They're then followed by Icky 2 and then Cool Universe in the quartered cap towards the rear of the field. The purple jacket of Agent of Fortune is followed by Dolly Drake, who's at the rear of the field. But this Carmela Soprano with Taylor Fisher aboard is a long way clear, about 10 lengths at least, as they come towards the end of the back straight. Ellen Clacy, the sheepskin noseband, in second, then Exceed and Eclipse in third, then Jeanette May racing in fourth, the pale jacket. They're then followed now by a driven along Bonnie Ladd, who's on the inside of that lot as they make their way around the turn. Agent of Fortune tries to get a little bit closer, followed by Icky 2, who's just in advance of that one. Trying to stay on a bit now from the back is Cool Universe as they make the swing for home. Carmela Soprano is in front, but the petrol light on the dashboard is on. Leads by about 3 lengths now to Ellen Clacy, who's closing in second. They're then followed by Exceed and Eclipse. After that, Jeanette May, and then Star of St. Louis, who's trying to stay on. They've turned for home. The leader's emptied out. Ellen Clacy's now gone on. Star of St. Louis is finishing strongly. Jeanette May down the centre of the track. Then Agent of Fortune, the purple jacket from the back as well. Inside the final furlong they go. It's Jeanette May now being tackled by Star of St. Louis, and Star of St. Louis goes on to Jeanette May in second. Deep inside the final furlong, Star of St. Louis, Jeanette May battling back to the line. Tight. Star of St. Louis though just I reckon over Jeanette May, then Agent of Fortune. Ellen Clacy has finished in fourth.
Yeah, another really interesting race to watch. With the cream rising to the top in the context of this and those towards the top of the market, and so it's gone to Star of St. Louis as we take it on the bob from the long-time absent Jeanette May, who has run very well indeed on her first start for 388 days. Agent of Fortune back to the scene of the previous winners, finished in third, and this race completely shaped by the front-running exploits of Carmela Soprano, who for much of that had a huge lead. Confirmation it was photo finish, but it looks to have been Star of Louis over on the far side. Interesting race to watch back.
Yeah, it was. Carmela Soprano with the first time visor on. I didn't think it was going that quick into the first bend, but never came back to Taylor Fisher and just got quicker and quicker and quicker and just really hit a brick wall turning in. And it set up well for a closer. Star of St. Louis looks like it's got it on the nod. Really, really good comeback run from Jeanette May after a long break. I'm sure they'll be delighted with that, and that's an indication she's come back well. You'd imagine she's had an issue because it's a long time to have a break for over a year.
Still waiting on that
the
official
outcome of the
confirmation.
photo finish for first place. First, number 7, Star of St. Louis.
Confirmation as we saw it. It was Star of St. Louis who beat the late charge of Jeanette May, who was coming back at the line, 7-4 favourite, winning under Callum Hutchinson. Star of St. Louis, who broke the maiden at the 26th lifetime attempt 2 starts ago. We'll see the horse breaking from 12 inside 1. In 11 was Jeanette May, and I suppose it was from the start, although not so apparent in the early stages, where we ought to track the run of Carmela Soprano, who broke from 8 under Taylor Fisher, who was just working towards the head of affairs, and suddenly, once they'd gone round the bend and down the back, had a 10 to 15 length lead, which, well, stayed that way until getting on for the last 3 furlongs from home.
Yeah, as you see going into the bend, I didn't think it was going that quick, but just hasn't come back to his young rider Taylor Fisher, and coming off the bend probably gained, let's say, nearly 10 lengths or so, and that's a massive amount of petrol used. And yeah. First time visor on, just got tired, and it's first run for a little while for this filly after 66 days off the track.
We'll see the point in a few moments when the pack closed. That was probably between the 4 and the 2, but still at this point, heading down the back with 6 furlongs to go, it was Carmela Soprano who was dictating things. Your winner, Star of St. Louis, not too far away, just side on, and actually from the word go, the wider draw, it was going to become apparent that getting to the front wasn't likely to happen with the pace towards the inside, and had to sit out slightly on a limb.
Yeah, The only
Nothing
thing is
too bad,
getting a nice draft into the race from Holly Doyle, staying out the brunt at the kickback, which is always helpful, and just had a really smooth trip. And that's what you want here at Chelmsford. When you have to switch and lose momentum, it makes life more difficult. And you see, as they're sort of chasing the sort of tearaway front runner, Callum Hutchinson's just had to hunt her along round, just coming off the top bend to hold his pitch. But he's able to use Holly Doyle as a marker, and that is a key thing in these situations. He's getting a nice lead, and he's able to sort of just, he ends up switching back towards the inside and then gets a nice run between horses. He shifts Agent of Fortune off a true line. I'm sure the stewards will have a look at that. The interesting head-on will be revealing.
This is the point where it was getting extremely busy between the first two. Margin of superiority was being eroded towards the line, but had probably just done enough. Agent of Fortune had done enough. Agent of Fortune, who was in third, something a little bit more like it from her. What was the assessment of her from the word go? Because of course the stalls was something you wanted to flag up as well.
Yeah, she was out of her ground a little bit early doors, but the race set up perfectly for this 7-year-old mare, and Jimmy was able to sort of negate a relatively clear passage. He got a bit of a bump up the home straight, but was well beaten, and she runs to a level. I'm sure it'll click right for her eventually, at some stage, but she's becoming hard to win with.
He's done okay, the winner, though, isn't he? As I mentioned, it took a long time to get that win, but was consistent prior to it, and maybe the run immediately after the win came a little bit soon, so another break here, and has picked up rather where he'd left off.
Yeah, he's had a bit of a freshen up, 32 days between runs, and you know, at this level, he's a handy little horse, but he's going to come out the 50 bracket now, which will make life a little bit more difficult.